Diversification is bullshit. Let me tell you why on this show of Money Mastermind. Stay tuned. I hear a lot from people on CNN Money, from Fox Business News Network, even from MSNBC as well as CNBC. I hear from personalities like Dave Ramsey, from Susie Orman, and from freaking Jim Cramer. And I have my own beef with the media on this. And I hear financial advisors on this. They say, diversification is the greatest thing possible. Let me tell you something. For first, the media is there to sell crisis. Let me tell you why. During good and bad. Good. The market's going up. Everything's good. Buy. Buy the stocks. Buy these stocks. Buy that stocks. Buy these mutual funds. Buy that mutual fund. Buy these index funds. Buy Vanguard. Bad times. Sell. Everything's crashing. The interest rates are rising. Oh my God, we need to sell. Go into cryptos. Go into bonds. The media is there to create crisis. And it creates a crisis of thought. Whether it's good or bad. But overall, it pockets them because they sell crisis on the news. But back to the point of issue. You hear people like Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Jim Cramer preach about diversification. Oh, diversification's the greatest thing. It'll lower your risk. It'll help you with your risk tolerance. It'll help you with risk management, especially when the market's going down. Let me tell you this. Diversification is only to be used when you have a low risk tolerance and low time horizon. Low risk tolerance. You have a family. You don't want to deal with money that's pretty much going to something that's speculative. You have a time horizon of less than 10 years, 20 years. If you have a family that is well established, you don't want to take the risk, you want to take care of your kids, diversify. If you have a low tolerance, if you have 10 years, 20 years left on your life until you die, diversify. That way you can protect your life. You can protect the amount of money that is going to your next income, or to your next kids, or to your next generation for that matter. That is the only time I recommend diversification. If you're single, if you have a high risk tolerance, if you have a long time horizon, why are you diversifying? Why? Diversification is only there to lower risk. It is not there to make money. Let me tell you a little story that is applicable. When I was younger, I started in 2015 as just a primarily little stock guy. Just getting into index funds and mutual funds and blah, blah, blah. My usual return from 2015 to 2018 was approximately 5 to 15%, which is not bad. But consider the rule of 70. Now, the rule of 70 says 70 divided by the percentage you get equals the amount of years that you get to double your money. So if we took my biggest return during that time, 70 divided by 15, we saw approximately a 7 year time until we doubled our money. I doubled my money. Then came 2019, the biggest return I made on index funds, which was 27%, which is damn good as an index fund. But you still got like about 3-4 years until you see doubling of returns. And then you see 2020, coronavirus, pandemic, restrictions. Every market goes crazy. especially the crash of the market, which was hilarious. And I loved that crash, honestly. I made 65% from the low. Now, mind you, I was down 35% at one point, but I still maintained my trading portfolio. My trading philosophy and my trading style has changed. But over the time from when I went down to 35% up to about 65% in a gain, that was one of the biggest returns I made. The biggest return I made to this point. And to this point, it's a little bit over a year until I see a double of my money. Now comes 2021. In the past 3 months, I've returned 39%. 39%, which is over half of what I made just in 2020. My trading philosophy has changed. My trading style has changed, but I've gotten wiser. I've learned how to tango with risk, and I'll get into that. But in the projections I've seen, I could probably make 105% by the end of the year, which is a little less than 0.8 years. If I'm using some mental math right now, but a little less than 0.8 years that I could see a double of my money. You see what I'm getting at right here? Why are you diversifying as a single person with high risk tolerance? Why are you diversifying? You have to be in the mentality that you are going to lose every single penny of that money, every single centavo of that money. But here's the mindset that you need. You have to be willing to lose every centavo. You have to be willing to face failure. You have to be willing to change and adapt. And I still rely on the philosophy of Andrew Carnegie. Focus on one thing and one thing only. Or a couple things, but one thing only. And get good at it. And it will make dividends for you. I trade exclusively Exxon right now. And it has returned a ton of dividends for me. But I see a lot of people rely on the news. I see a lot of people rely on financial advisors. They mean well, but they are not the end-all be-all to finance. And I get tired of it. Learn to accept risk. Here's the big thing about risk that I have to underline at least 3 times. Risk is like a wild horse. It is not to be toyed with. If you are smart, if you are resourceful, and if you know what you're doing, you can tame a wild horse and it can become a loyal horse for you. But if you are dumb with it, it will buck you off and backleg you. And you will see massive losses in your accounts. The same thing can be applied to stocks. The same thing can be applied to business. The same thing can be applied to anything that is a financial instrument. Learn risk, but don't be dumb with it. Because if you're dumb, you will see losses. If you're smart with it, and if you accept it, and if you learn to adapt the risk, because sometimes there will be times where you are at a loss, but you have to adapt to make a profit. Like this one time, I made about $250 off Exxon. I had to accept the loss because I knew that Exxon would be priced at a higher price point. And I said that Exxon will recover. I said that Exxon will recover. This will not be a trade. This will be a long hold. And that returned dividends for me. You have to look at market conditions. You have to look at technicals. You have to look at fundamentals. And I see so many times on Webull as well as Robinhood that people confuse Exxon for a producer. It is not. It is a refiner. They have to pay for gas to get gas, to refine it, and then sell it at a higher price point. And people blame the shorts. People blame whatever reason there is. That's people that don't know how to accept risk. That's people that don't know how to understand risk and how to tame it. Learn to accept the risk. Learn to tame the wild horse. And I guarantee you it will be loyal. That's enough for me on my rant. Have a good day, enjoy the markets, and I'll see you in the next video.